Hello, my loves. I'm Rena, and here we are on the ride of my life. And I want to talk to you today about finding your peace and keeping your peace. And one of my passions is as an inner peace guide, because it's taken me such a long time, most of my life, to get to the point where I can actually connect with inner peace. And I'm going to talk to you today about different ways of connecting and finding your peace and then keeping it. And that's huge. That's important. I'm going to start out with a story today. One of the things, I live in South Florida, and 95, especially during high season, can be complete chaos. And one of the things that I've learned throughout my process is, instead of getting into, which I used to do, the road rage and the speeding and all this stuff, I learned how to, interestingly, see everyone on the road as souls, as other souls, as opposed to just some crazy person, trying to run me off the road. And there are moments where they say to just assume that the person's got something going on that they're trying to get to, and that's helpful for a minute. It really wasn't helpful for me to do that, because then I would start thinking about the fact that, well, and if there isn't something, and then I'd start going into, rah. What I do at this point is I just take a deep breath and I calm myself down, and I use the phrase, keep your peace, keep your peace, keep your peace. And that's been helpful for me. I mean, obviously you would need to find your way of doing it, and that's okay. And I just wanted to share something that's been helpful for me. Okay, this is really interesting to me. So I talk a lot about being highly sensitive. I haven't really mentioned being an empath. In this part of this talk, I want to share with you, because I'm both, and I want to explain that you can be one or the other or both. They're not really the same thing. And I suppose I would need to get into another video that would explain what that is. Right now, let's just stay with the peace part of it. So as an empath, what I have always done, and I continue to do it, now I'm just aware of it, and it's easier for me to work through it, is that I can take on others' feelings and energies. I feel things like right now automatically. It's hard to explain. It's very subtle. And when I feel something, I always want to ask the person, are you okay? What's going on? And 9 times out of 10, they don't even know that they're feeling it. It's an interesting way to learn how to maneuver around other people that way. What was happening, it was taking my peace away from me, because I was basically always inside of the other person. Now, it wasn't me, it's obviously my energy that goes in there, or my essence, because that's what helps me to work with people. I was doing it all the time though, and that's not good. And what that did was it creates monkey mind. And especially back when, I couldn't figure out whether it was me actually feeling those feelings or energies, or they were actually someone else's energies. Now it's different because of the work I've been doing. Now, lack of peace in the mind, which shows up and can be felt as anxiety in the body and many other things, but for me it was anxiety. They're caused by problems and difficulties and fears and worries and hurt feelings. And what it does is it increases mental and physical restlessness and a lack of inner peace. And for me, one of the feelings was frustration, because I'm so aware and careful to make sure that others are comfortable in their environment, that I tended to get anxious and shaky and upset when that wasn't reciprocated for me. But I realized something. As a highly sensitive person, I'm very aware of the very things that bother me, that I don't want anyone else to be bothered by them. So I go out of my way, or I've done this in the past, I still do it a little bit, to make others feel comfortable. Now, remember, HSPs, empaths, however this works with you, most of the population, roughly 80%, don't feel that way. So there really isn't a point to making sure that they're okay. Taking care of ourselves and watching and observing and becoming aware of this is key. And if they weren't okay, I would hope that they would tell you that. And also, in most cases, most people probably won't. And that's okay too. That's why we need to be more aware. As you can see, there's a lot going on here with me as an HSP and an empath. And like I said, they aren't the same. And being both certainly makes for an interesting life. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think I will go ahead and make another video about that. The differences and the similarities between HSPs and empaths. That would be cool. So I wanted to share with you 9 things that will help you to not only find your inner peace, but keep it. The first thing is meditate. Where have you heard me say that before? Meditation is about shutting off the noise in your mind as best as you can, especially if you're new to meditation. I talk about some ways of meditating in my video, 5 incredibly powerful ways to heal the nervous system from trauma. I just posted that within the last couple of days, so it'll be easy to find. And it's the 5th way that I was talking about, and that starts at around 10 minutes and 3 seconds, so you can see what it is about meditation. And just remember, meditation, I talk to people about this all the time. And it happened with me. It's like, I don't want to do meditation because my mind will not go blank. Don't be afraid of meditation. Like I said, check out my other video. It gives examples of different ways you can do it. Take a break from social media. Holy cow. Social media has actually become an addiction at this point. And I've been there. And it's when I'm not present with myself that I want to know what's going on with everybody else. And I need to know what's going on with everybody else. And we get sucked into it. I have definitely experienced that. And it really isn't that easy to pull away from it. Some suggestions in this, I would say set a timer, allow yourself to only go on at certain times of day, and to know that social media causes stress, especially if you read or see something that triggers you, that's not going to help your peace. Okay? This next one is really important, especially for highly sensitive people and empaths. Stay away from the news. For starters, most of what's being talked about is all negative. It affects your stress response and causes you to feel anxious and depressed constantly, especially if you watch it all the time. And as a highly sensitive person, take a step back, because you're sucking in not only everyone else's feelings and emotions and nerves and all that, you're taking in this negative energy, and there's nowhere for it to go, because if you don't know at this point possibly how to release that, then your anxiety levels are going to go up. The other thing is that they're sharing information which may or may not be true. And it's definitely a version of someone's truth, of what they're perceiving. So you don't even know if that's real. The thing about it is that I've learned is that anything outside of us is technically an illusion. It's not real. Pulling in that negative energy is not helpful, and it will keep you from your inner peace. It's also not solving anything. The news that's being put out there is not solving anything. It's just feeding into fear. So take the break and know that you will hear plenty of news and what's going on from the people around you. Even then, when I hear this stuff around me, I have to either breathe while they're talking about it, or I have to get up and walk away, because I can feel my body start to get agitated, and I don't want that. And that takes away from my inner peace. So I choose to walk away. Sometimes I even tell the person, I'm not in a place to talk about that right now, so let's find something that's a little more pleasant to talk about. And again, I would excuse myself if I needed to. Number 4, of course, is back to the breath work. And it is so important. I just want you to be able to receive that, because that is the first go-to in any stressful situation to maintain peace. One of the things that I do is I put my hands on my heart, I close my eyes, and I'll just start breathing. Until I can feel my body to start settling back in. And you can find the breathing information on that same video, the 5 ways to heal your nervous system from trauma. And that starts, I think, at around 1 minute and 10 seconds at the very beginning. And then the next thing, number 5, is, interestingly, kindness creates peace. You get to start, though, with yourself. And this can be a challenge initially on your healing journey, as it was for me, because I had been so angry with myself that it was kind of hard to be kind. And it took a little bit of practice and healing and working through all of that to get to the point where I could be kind to myself. And what happens is that it'll automatically reach itself out to others. And that's the goal in kindness in the world, because when we are being kind to ourselves and we are peaceful, it goes outward and creates kindness and peacefulness in the world. You are the most important person in your life, no one else. You can't even take care of your children unless you take care of yourself as a mother and a father. So treat yourself kindly as if you are the most important person in your life. This will definitely take, like I said, healing and practice, and it can be a challenge at the beginning of a healing journey. And I know from personal experience that if you're persistent, consistent, and committed, that you too can do this. My next favorite thing that I kind of need work with myself, because sometimes I get busy and I don't want to step away because I just want to finish what I'm working on. I'm human. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience, and that's part of my human experience, is to forget to go out into, number 6, nature, nature, nature. Okay, so this is a good reminder for myself. And I want to emphasize, and I know this, how important this is. It recenters you. It recycles the energy that you don't want to carry anymore. The earth pulls it out. The air pulls it out. You bring in the oxygen from the trees. It's an amazing experience when we do it, right? And if you go into nature, I found this, especially down here, I go in during the week when not many people are there because they're obviously at work. If you can do that, go for it. And if you're not able to do that during the week, just find a way to just be within yourself while you're within nature. You will have a complete setting of peace in nature. That's all nature is peace. Unless, of course, you live out where there aren't a lot of people, and then you've got your space to do it. Now, People aren't the bad thing, it's just the distraction. So just so you know that. Okay, number 7, watch funny movies or find ways to laugh. I'm talking about the big, deep, guttural laughing where you can't stop and your cheeks hurt. That's the best ever. Find people in your life who make you laugh. Laughing actually kicks up your endorphins, and endorphins heal the body, and it creates peace within. And that's it. All right, number 8, get creative. You don't have to be an artist, a singer, a writer, whatever, to do this. Paint, even finger paint. Draw, dance, sing in the shower if you feel you need to, or just write whatever you want for you, just to get the creative juices flowing. That's what we're working on doing here, getting those creative juices flowing. Watch children as they create. They don't care what it looks like or sounds like, they just create. So find your inner child, which is part of the healing process anyway, and go have fun creating. Whatever it looks like for you, doesn't matter. Number 9 is be present in the moment. It's a gift. All we have is the present moment, and the next present moment, and the next present moment. That's all we have. We're not supposed to be living in our past. We are meant to work on the healing of the past to become present and be able to be in the present moment, and also not worrying about what's coming up in the future, because worrying is actually a wasted emotion. 99% of whatever we worry about never comes to fruition. It never happens. I am the classic worrier. I have been in my life, and no matter what I was worrying about, didn't happen. Now I just allow life to flow, because that's what it feels like when you're in the present moment. And it just blows me away whenever I actually think or talk about the difference from where I was. Even right now, I'm like with you and sharing my heart, sharing my experience, sharing what I've learned, you know, because I know how much it helped me. I also know the potentials of how it can help you in this moment. Okay. All right, so that's it for today. I appreciate you. I'm grateful that you're here. And I thank you for supporting me on my journey as I go through as well. Peace.